Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have from Ekko Astral, Pink Balloons. Alright, here we have a DC noise punk and queercore act that first caught some buzz in 2022 with their debut project Quartz, blending in elements of garage, even some goth rock. I wouldn't exactly call it groundbreaking, but the fundamentals were rock solid in the compositions, but that's not quite the direction they chose to take the follow-up. A much louder, heavier, and wilder project that trades a lot of the sharper garage rock compositional structures for something that's closer to no wave, embracing harsher, dissonant melodies, blown out textures, especially around the percussion and the meaty bass lines, blaring synth, eerie drone passages, and poetry that is way more ragged. Perhaps the most chirpy and upbeat cut is Make Me Young, and it's barely a minute long. Now that's not saying this is not catchy or that certain grooves won't grab your ears. The pummeling, head-empty blues and ooh type beat, surrounded by nightmarish waves of howling distortion, the stuttering, wailing grind of On Brand, the bassy swagger of Sticks and Stones that explodes into this kaleidoscopic nightmare, and the guttural snarl of Devorah ramping up its drone juxtaposed with some softer singing into this cacophonous hardcore thunderstorm. I will say it's less immediately accessible. It feels like a much angrier album this time around, which makes a lot of sense peeling into the subject matter, where the framing seems to be casting a much broader external net to American society's increasingly hostile confrontation of queerness, or indeed anything that is outside of what is constructed as normative, which a lot of folks don't want to think about that hard. Now that's led to a couple misreadings of this album, where thanks to the pink color palette and some slightly more girlish singing and the more terminally online lyricism and song titles, it's being framed as more lightweight than it actually is, which in my opinion does a disservice to how intricately constructed some of the nested lyricism and even callbacks are. The poetry might feel ragged, but never ramshackle. There are layers here. And you know what? I think there is a very real human desire for some of that escapism, likely online, in this Kafkaesque late capitalist reality, probably feeling all the more pronounced when they live in the US Capitol full of social climbers and those who are willing to trade their ideology for the right brand at the right time, but their actual reality doesn't allow them the privilege of ignorance or to claim shallow forms of solidarity. And a significant chunk of this album just rips into the contradictions of those who espouse left-leaning or progressive values, predominantly through consumption, where they can feel just as caught up in the moral tangle. The framing does include them, but man, those other people don't want to be informed about the actual awkward, bleak reality. The layered reference of buffaloed across sports, trans culture, late capitalism shows just how fucking dark it can get. Very telling that it follows Sticks and Stones, which deliberately addresses discrimination in comedy from multiple perspectives: the comic, the ones targeted, and the increasingly exhausted bystanders, and the culpability that may entangle all of them. But it's not all pure doom scrolling either. While I hear some of the early Alex Turner comparisons and some of the nastier observations, it's less nihilistic, and there's more of a desire for community and passion in a world that can be made better, or at least surviving a little longer through the worst of it, with the borderline post-rock closer I-90 building over 8.5 minutes to show the climactic strength to which they can hold together. But as a whole, yeah, you know what? This is excellent. It's queercore that absolutely kicks ass. It crushes everything in its path with some real experimental flair, and it's got plenty of vividly detailed, heartfelt personality. I know it's not going to be for everyone. It can feel impressively bleak at some times, but coming out of a very potent niche, Ekko Astral deserves to be really taken seriously. Great album, check it out. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, and subscribe. Beyond that, I really want to hear what actual fans of this band are more into. This is my first introduction to them, and I really like this. Beyond that, though, anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if you all want to get involved in helping support the channel, get albums on my schedule, or just argue with me on my Discord, link to my Patreon is right over there. Don't feel obligated. Tough times, I understand. The option is available. Till then, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.